the kingdom of Oloran. Painting the landscape in hues of orange and red, villagers bustled about, preparing for the annual festival of Ayo, a celebration of love and union. Drums echoed through the air as women adorned in bright Ankara fabrics danced in the market square, their laughter carrying far and wide. It was a time of joy, a time for unions to be sealed, and promises to be exchanged. But not for Abeni. She sat on the wooden steps of her father's hut, her chin resting in her palm, staring at the distant palace. Her sister Aid was beside her, her face dark with worrying. Her sister and her fiancé had been betrothed for nearly 2 years, waiting for the right moment to marry. That moment was to be the festival of Ayo until the king's decree shattered their plans.
No marriages.
Aid muttered, her voice laced with bitterness.
Not until a king decides to remarry himself. How does one man's grief outweigh the happiness of an entire kingdom? The king's sorrow is his own, but why must we all suffer for it?
Abeni clenched her fists.
It's unfair. My father says it's not our place to question the king, but I cannot stay silent.
Abe placed a hand on hers.
What can you do? Abeni, this is beyond us.
She looked into her eyes, her resolve hardening.
Someone has to remind the king what love means. If no one else will, then I will.
The next morning, Abeni gathered her things, a simple iro and buba, a gourd of water, and a small bundle of food. She wrapped a scarf around her head and set off toward the palace. Her plan was audacious, bordering on reckless. She would disguise herself as a wandering storyteller, weaving tales to reach the king's heart. Abeni's father, a respected elder, had often told her that stories held power they could teach, heal, and even change minds. By the time she reached the palace gates, the sun was high in the sky. The guards,